So my snare drum immediately broke when I started playing this song, and unfortunately, it was one of the longest songs of our set. Even the guitarist said something to me when he noticed. I tried my best for the rest of the song to play the drum as little as possible, especially on fills, and to make it sound as powerful as I could when I had to play it. Right after the song ended, I quickly switched it out for a working drum, right when Clayton started talking about me, so everybody noticed me shuffling things around. No harm was done, and we went on with the set. I fixed the problem so this shouldn't happen again.
I almost wasn't ready. I didn't know what to do, so I hit more drums. We got a little off, but it worked out. This is the best solo break I've ever heard.
So this equipment fail was almost really, really bad. Listen to my snare drum and how the sound suddenly changes. I had to play through the rest of the song like this, and I was just hoping the whole time that I'd be able to fix it, since we had a whole nother hour to play. I told the band I had to sit the next song out, so I had the length of one song to fix my drum. I saw immediately that the cord holding the wires under my drum had broken, but luckily there was still enough length left for me to tie it back and fix it. Still, I was racing against the clock as they started wrapping up the song, but I finished just in time and was able to play the rest of the gig with no problems.
Why does my head move like a pigeon?
Everything was going great at this gig until suddenly I couldn't hear anything. For context, this was my first time using in-ear monitors and playing along to a backing track. It was really important that I could hear the track so that I could make sure I was matched with it. Towards the end of our show, my pack ran out of batteries and I couldn't hear the other musicians or the track. So thinking quickly, I decided to stop the backing track by hitting this pad and have the band play the rest of the song without the track. It wasn't an ideal situation, but it was better than me inevitably not being in time with the track. Luckily, at the end of this song, I was able to quickly get new batteries, and we kept on playing. Not all gigs go how you want them to. You might be able to see I'm kind of wet. It's currently raining outside, and all of my stuff is in the front seat and in the back there, all just piled in, not in cases. This gig was outside. It was really nice. It was Friday food truck. The weather was great. The people were great. The vibes were happening. Band thought that we were going to be playing underneath a structure, not just out in the open, which wasn't true. There was only a small chance of rain, supposedly, and I actually didn't bring my tarp right away when I got there, but I had some time after setting up. This gig was in town, so I decided to run home really quick and grab a tarp. Sure glad that I did, because my gear would be even more wet. Hopefully not ruined, but it could be. It just took a long time. The load-in was kind of long. You had to walk outside a little ways. I am so glad that I went back and brought that tarp. That's just how it goes. Lucked out this time. I once forgot my drumsticks for an out-of-town gig. I was driving to a jazz gig at a hotel in French Lick, Indiana. Don't ask me how it got that name. I can only speculate. I'd packed my drums the night before, but I realized halfway to the gig that I never put my stick bag in the car. I'd never done this before and I started panicking. It was too late to turn back home. I texted the band leader and she sent a mass text to local musicians asking for a pair of drumsticks, which made everyone aware of my mistake. I desperately searched on my phone for music shops, and the only thing that popped up was a furniture store. I was confused but also out of options, so I just went there, and I found a pair of humongous sticks that were only meant for loud rock music. I quickly bought those, drove to the gig, and set up. I ended up playing 4 hours of soft, delicate jazz in a really nice hotel lobby with sticks made for loud arena shows. Probably not the best that I've played, but it definitely served as a reminder to always double check that I have everything.
I probably shouldn't have played this.
I had to play a whole gig without a drum set. Here's what happened. I was asked about playing this gig a few days before and was told that the drums would be provided. However, the person who was bringing the drums had an emergency the night before and wasn't able to be there. Because I was added last minute, the message didn't get to me to bring my own drums. I was lucky that I had a snare drum and a few cymbals in my car that I was planning to use. This was also my first time playing with this band, so I was worried that they would get a bad impression of me, but luckily they were really cool about it and liked my playing. They actually called me again for a show a few weeks later. I'll definitely bring my own drum set to unfamiliar gigs in the future, even if I'm told there will be drums. It's better to spend a few extra minutes bringing more gear than all the stress of showing up and not being prepared.